It is a test match weekend. South Africa taking on Ireland, Australia taking on Wales, Italy taking on Samoa this afternoon, but all eyes on Forsyth Bar Stadium tomorrow evening as the All Blacks take on England, the first test under Scott Robertson. One man who I'm sure will have both eyes on the action is our first guest this hour, and it's a great pleasure to welcome the one and only Richie McCaw to the show. Richie, good morning to you.
Morning, Sumo.
Good to hear your voice, mate, and thanks so much for giving us your time. How excited are you about this new era or incarnation of the All Blacks, Rich?
I'm like everyone, really excited. It's been a while since we last saw some test footy, and when you have new people in charge and different feel about things, just want to see how it goes. So, looking forward to it.
Yeah, a lot of anticipation, Rico, and all eyes are on the socials yesterday in regards to that team being named, and I'll go straight to the position that you're comfortable with in the loose forward trio. We've got Dalton Papali'i. We'll get there. How do they stop Marcus Smith? But Dalton Papali'i gets a nod over Luke Jacobson, Artie Savera 8, and Samipeni Finau. Were they the obvious choices for you?
Mate, I think I saw Razor say when he announced the team that the loose forward was the hardest, positions to narrow it down because we've got some great depth. So, certainly the number 7 jersey, probably with the Blues, obviously they lead the way and winning, he's played a fair bit there lately. So, I think that's pretty obvious. And Artie's obviously VC's been around a long time, and he'll slot back in. From what I understand, he carved it up and over in Japan when he was over there. So I'm sure he'll be fresh and ready to go. And I think Finau at number 6, he's obviously hasn't been around that long, but the Super Rugby, I thought he was immense there for the bits I saw. So no, I think it'll be a good trio, but pretty lucky to have the depth we've got. Those other names you mentioned.
Rico, we've talked a little bit about it. You're arguably part of one of the best combinations in the loose forward trio, and you get the signs that they're trying to do is when you have an Artie Savera out there, which is similar to your Kieran Reeds, and then you've got a Papali'i that's going to do the groundwork. That combination to make it happen and to see the success that we're after. What's needed? I
think when loose trios work well together, you sort of complement each other, so you don't sort of try and you have your own strengths. And I think look at this, all the ones I've certainly found we operated best is where we all had slightly different strengths, but worked well together. And I think this, from what I can see, the one that's starting be definitely like that. I think one of the things that like going into test match against the Northern Hemisphere, I always remember it was always a shock that first 15 minutes because the contact area compared to Super Rugby with the way the Northern Hemisphere approach it is quite different. It's always a lot more emphasis there, and when you get into it, it's like wow, this is what it's all about. And I think certainly as a forward pack, but you talk about loose trio, that's the bit you've got to get your head around pretty quickly.
Rich, I love you brought that up because there is a real style, isn't there, about the Northern Hemisphere. They really seek that contact early in the test match. It's almost like the proving ground, the alpha male syndrome, getting out there and making big hits and putting you in uncomfortable positions. How did you go about negating that, and how do you think the All Blacks will take to that approach on Saturday night?
As I say, I always knew it was coming, but it was always I think you're right that it's the emphasis that the contact in the north probably has slightly different to maybe the way we play, certainly Super Rugby. But it was always like, oh God, this is what it's all about. But the thing is, the ball carriers have got to win the contacts. Those sort of really simple things around rugby. But if you start to get that right, it negates it somewhat. But you just can't sort of expect, you're going to get the ball back because you've sort of done things reasonably well. You've got to get it spot on. Otherwise, it becomes a real messy affair real quick. And I think All Blacks always, you want to get nice, clean front foot ball, which is, I guess, the way you do in all games. But certainly, if you don't get that right, that doesn't happen.
You've got a new captain, Rich, and you captained the side for a very long time and very successfully as well. And I know you felt that pressure very keenly, that you had to put in that work around the team as much as you did on yourself. Have anyone approached you for advice around how to lead the team, Scott Barrett? And if not, what would your advice to him be around leading this team, which is a very special team to captain?
Yeah, I've spoken to Scott a couple of times over this Super Rugby, but not Scott Barrett, but not really in regards to because he's only just been named, obviously. But I think, and the thing is, you go, well, the first thing is you got to make sure you get your own performance right, which but that's only part of it. But that's the first part. You got to get it spot on. And one of the things I took a wee while to figure out was. You don't have to do it all yourself in terms of lead the team. You obviously got good people around you, and you look at the quality of guys that have played a lot of rugby. It's actually how you ensure they all get their jobs right and lead the team as a probably a senior group. So that's the big thing. But it's you're learning all the time. Like the moment you think, just because you've got the ticket now that it's going to be easy. There's lessons that come along every day, and that's just part of it. But as I say, you've got good people around you. Hopefully you lean on that, and even having someone like Sam Kane around the squad, I'm sure he'll be helpful as well.
Rico, you've played England multiple times. You've been on the ledger on both occasions. You've won plenty, but you've also had your fair share of defeats. I hate to bring up 2003. That was a very long time ago in Wellington. But when things weren't quite going right, what can you pinpoint that to?
I know that the English have always got the belief they can get one over you.
Right.
I'm not sure all teams are totally like that, but the 03 one was quite a learning one for me because obviously they had a huge experienced team that went on to win the World Cup, and just if you line people up talent for talent, you'd probably say, well, we're as good, if not better, in a lot of positions, but they had the steel and the determination and everything, and they just strangled us. So that was a pretty good learning early on around those side of things. I remember it well. The 2012 one at Twickenham was one of the hardest ones to take. We got blown off the park that day.
Do you remember this, Rico? When you came up to me under the sticks and you said, "What are you seeing?" And I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, it was one of those, especially in the second half, where I've never really experienced in the All Blacks before that or since, where it kind of just got away, and then we were almost in making sure it didn't get too embarrassing, which I made it a long summer, I tell you.
We were talking about that this morning. That was the rock under the beach towel, Rico. So, I remember that line very well. Hey, I want to talk to you about game leaders. There's been a huge discussion, as there always is, Rich, around first five. That job's gone to Damien McKenzie. How important is it to have that guy out there who is in charge of that strategy? You played so much footy with Dan Carter. How important to know that your quarterback is your quarterback?
Well, I always say it when people ask about the people you played with. I was lucky to have a guy like DC who was prepared to own that space. And as a captain, you don't want to be having to tell your number 10 and what to do, or all you want to do is support him to do that job. And I was lucky to have that. And I think if a guy like Damien's prepared to do that, and I don't see why not. Where he drives it, but with getting input from the guys either side, and as a captain, you just ensure that they've got some ideas if they need them. When you get that right, it makes the game a whole lot easier. Like I certainly always say that the job of captain the All Blacks, and a guy like DC was on form, it was pretty damn easy.
Talk to us too, mate, about your roles outside of the game itself, but you do have governance roles now within New Zealand Rugby, within the Players Association. Rich, it's been a fraught time for the game. Are you feeling that there is some green shoots now in terms of getting to the nub of the issue here in New Zealand, and that there is positivity to come, and this, I guess, first test is a start of that?
Yeah, well, unfortunately for a while, there's been talking about all the things that are wrong with the game, and certainly, off the field, all that. And I don't want to, the excitement of a test match. I don't want to put a downer on it, talking about this sort of stuff. But it's been. I've been incredibly frustrated at some of the stuff that's gone on. But I hope that we start to get to somewhere that means that we can put the focus back on the. What's happening on the field. We've got a new era of All Black, coaches, and then, the teams getting underway again. Hope we start focusing on that because, there's certainly some challenges still there. The commercial board that I'm a part of, there's some good people there, and obviously the Craig, who's the CEO's come in, incredibly smart people that have, hopefully putting some things into place that will see the fruits come through. But there's still some challenges there, I tell you.
Yeah, for sure, Rico. Hey, quickly, Rugby Global Rugby Players Association, the Global Rugby Players Association you're a part of. You announced that a month back. What's this about?
Yep. Global Players Foundation.
Yep.
Yeah, there was four of us, five of us, DC, Thierry Dustois, Johnny Wilkinson and Conrad Smith and myself, alongside international players. One of the things that we talked about as a group is we put a lot of support around players when they're playing the game and helping them do all the things they need to. But the moment it stops, no matter who you are, it's a big void that's left, and the support or the help or the I guess networks that are crucial often aren't there, and we wanted to not have someone else do it, but have the players do something for the players and put some resource and programs and ability for not people that are struggling, everyone that finishes a chance to tap into that network, those services or whatever you like, so that the transition is not where you were once a rugby player and that's it. It's actually move on to the next part of your life as having done the rugby thing, but you're not just remembered as just a rugby player. There's a whole lot more to life, a new chapter and all those sort of things. And if we can help all the professional rugby players that come out in some way, that's sort of the aim. So it's a pretty cool initiative, I think.
Yeah, it's great. Kaupapa, that's for sure. Rich, I know you guuld do a great job with that. Give us a score.
Like being a father to three daughters. How good is that, Rico? Couldn't have happened to a better bloke.
Hey. It's brilliant, isn't it?
Do you know,
challenges, what it's like.
When we told the listeners you were coming on, Rich, they were all asking when you're going to have a son. They're thinking that this is more a eugenics program than a marriage, but we wish you all the best. Our regards to Jem as well. Give us a score for tonight, for tomorrow night.
I'm backing the All Blacks. I reckon we're going to put 30-odd 15.
30-odd 15. Hey. There it is. Captain Tackles himself, Richie McCaw, joining us on SENZ. Thanks very much for your time. Rico. Richie McCaw, former All Black captain, two-time World Cup winner, absolute legend of the game. 7:18 here on the Tradie Hour. Thanks to Night and Day. Grab a hell of a coffee for just $4.50. Plenty more to come. Great to have your company here on SENZ.
SENZ. It's Kiwi for Sport.